What's going on, everybody? I'm Andrew Robson, and you're watching RAKUYO's Deciduous Bonsai channel. Today we're going to be talking about displaying pre-bonsai, and I'm going to give you 3 reasons why that might help your bonsai practice. Now, in front of you, you have a Japanese beech, and this is a tree that's still very much in development. I started working on this tree about 6 or 7 years ago, and it came to me as a small stump. And I've been doing a lot of work on it throughout the years to get it to where it is now, but it still has quite a ways to go before we would ever take it to a exhibit like the Pacific Bonsai Expo or US National Show. And so why the heck is this sitting in my display alcove? Well, point number 1 is that it's really important to practice display. We can practice a lot of things in bonsai to improve. You can practice wiring, you can practice watering, you can practice repotting, and we teach all of those things in our classes here at RAKUYO. But display is something that we really should be practicing as well. Because if you're just going to set up a display the day before you take it to an exhibit, you might not be as fluent in order to execute a really nice vision. So display is something that should really be practiced just like everything else we do in bonsai. The other thing going along with that is that bonsai display is really about enjoyment. We spend so much time working on these trees, watering these trees, giving them the proper care, the proper light, putting them in a beautiful garden, that we don't spend enough time bringing them into an intimate setting like this and sitting in a place where it's comfortable and sitting back and enjoying. And that really is the true magic of bonsai, is having a piece of wild nature, a beech tree sitting in your living room or sitting in your bonsai studio or sitting in your home in a very comfortable, intimate space where you can really enjoy the tree without having to think about work or development or anything like that. So it's really important to practice display and to enjoy bonsai display. Point number 2 on why displaying a pre-bonsai might be helpful for your practice. And that's that it really allows us to celebrate where the tree has come. When I started working on this Japanese beech, it was a small stump. It was about this tall. I did a trunk chop because the top of it was not very beautiful, and it just had a couple low branches. And I basically built most of the tree that you see here on display, mostly from here upwards. All of the branching, all of the trunk line was something that we developed here at RAKUYO. And so having it on display, it really allows me to celebrate all the work that's been done so far. Speaking of recent work, this tree was just worked on in the studio. If you follow our Instagram, you probably saw it on our Instagram feed. But this tree was recently brought in, and it had some big structural edits made to its core structure. Most of the branches were kind of growing upright, and so my student Maciek and I took a bunch of these guy wires and bent all of the branches more downwards to create a much more beautiful scaffolding in order to develop this tree moving forward. And so having it on display helps me celebrate all the work that's been done, but it also allows me to live with that recent work, this recent editing that we did on the tree. And that really gives me the opportunity to make some tweaks before it goes back out, to really live with its new, fresh, updated design for a few days before I have to rush to get it back out in the garden and kind of move on to the next tree and forget about it. So that leads us to point number 3 and why displaying a pre-bonsai like this might be helpful for your bonsai practice. And point number 3 is that it allows us to envision where the tree might be going forward. Now, this is the first time this tree's ever been on a bonsai stand. It's certainly the first time this tree's ever been in a display kind of setting. And that's really changing how I look at it. It's really making me question, is this tree really a right flow? Am I happy with the flow of this tree, or do I need to switch the flow and turn it into a left flow? It allows me to consider, is this trunk big enough? Or do I need to spend some time developing this trunk moving forward? It allows me to think about what type of story I want to tell. And if you look at this display, the story is kind of a big beech tree that's growing in a field unadulterated by any other competition. And so it allows me to tell the story. You know, we have a beautiful scroll of Mount Fuji, which is kind of a good backdrop for where Japanese beech grow. And we have a bronze bull that kind of puts us in that kind of more rural kind of farmland kind of setting where you would see a tree growing unadulterated without the influence of other trees affecting its growth pattern. So by putting it in a display, you're really envisioning where this tree needs to move forward. Where does it need to develop? Where are we taking this tree? If you enjoyed this video, please hit like at the bottom of your screen and subscribe to our channel so we can keep you up to date with a lot of great deciduous content moving forward. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.